Okay, boys and girls, so let's go over our vocab words that you're going to see today in the story that we're reading. So our first one is vitamins. Vitamins are things your body needs to be healthy. The vitamins in an orange can fight off a cold. Barely. If you can barely do something, you almost cannot do it. I can barely wait to see our school play. Loosen. When you loosen something, you make it less tight. When my hair gets knotty, I loosen the strands with my comb. Sighed. If you sighed, you let out a deep breath to show your feelings. Look at the clock and let out a bad sigh. I sighed because our day is going by too fast. Replaced. Replaced means to put one thing in place of another. When the light blinks, I know the bulb needs to be replaced. And traveled. You may have traveled from home to school by car or bus. So if something traveled, it went from one place to another. Okay, so your story today that you are going to read is called The Patchwork Garden. And so you could read that with the computer today. But before we read it, I want to talk about, hold on a second. I want to talk about our anchor chart for the day and what we're going to work on today. So you are going to work on the story structure. And in the story structure, remember, stories often have a similar structure, and authors, they organize a plot in a way that will entertain the reader. So there's always a beginning, a middle, and end. And when we're looking at the story structure, there's always can be a conflict at the beginning that gets resolved. Sometimes in the middle, an author can make another conflict start that ends up getting resolved at the end. So today I really want you to focus on what is going on at the beginning of the story. What is the conflict? What is going on in the middle of the story? Is the conflict resolved? Is there a new conflict that starts? And remember, conflict is the problem that's going on in the story. And remember, when it gets resolved, that means how do they solve the problem? And at the end, that's usually when it all comes together, and usually there's resolution at the end of what is going on in the story. So I really want you to focus on the story structure today. When you're reading the story, I do have questions that are on your choice board that I want you to focus on. And one of the questions, if we focus on page 6 through 8, I hope we remember. So when you get to this page, this is where we're going to really focus on the story structure. When you get to page 6, 7, and 8, I really want you to focus on what conflict does Tanya have in the beginning of the story. So really focus on that, because that is one question that I wanted you guys to answer about the story structure. Okay, so go ahead and click on the book on the HMH Ed site and go ahead and read the story for the day.